Dear Lord, I am excited. This is part one of my series. Well, I think it's going to be a series anyway, but it depends. There's a lot to talk about. This is episode one of the texture pack stuff that I've been working on. And this is going to break down what's in these new texture packs that have been added to the game, what is in them. Quite a number of things to talk about. We are starting out with the very texture pack that started pretty much everything. This is labeled original. Yeah, just that. Original. It was made by Craig Martin, the original founder and creator of Total Miner, Greenstone Games. This is his texture pack he made for Total Miner. Looks amazing, honestly. Like it's not the greatest texture pack, but this is how things start out. It's amazing. Just it has a nice theme, very traditional, medieval, basic adventure stuff, I would say. When the sun goes down, it looks like this. Pretty amazing, and the nighttime view looks just just awesome in general. Okay, because I didn't really script this or plan this out per se. I'm not that kind of, I don't think I'm that kind of YouTuber yet that can, I'm just saying I'm not the best at really doing that kind of thing. But I just want to do this as a gamer and just show you guys this stuff is amazing. And I just want to showcase this original texture pack, and you all know the deal. This is how it started out and all that. But what about the new texture packs? Okay, we are now going to go to the main meat of what this video is about, the new texture packs. I introduce you all to the survival mode Redux. And we're gonna go to this one because this one is very spicy, but we're gonna go to the survival one. This one, okay. I had the idea of what if the original texture pack was transformed and updated in a much more modern way that was made for the people, because I've been in this community for a very long time and people have been saying, hey, I would love Total Miner to go back to its roots, or I miss Classic Total Miner. I miss so many things from Classic Total Miner. When people say things like that, you can't really understand much of what they're saying. But from a surface level, I can kind of relate on many ways. Total Miner, Classic Total Miner has so many vibes and feelings and a lot of things that are pretty much just not there anymore. For example, the weapons have been completely changed. There's an RPG system. The spiders used to be a huge threat, but I'm getting a bit off topic. This texture pack is an updated new take on Total Miner. When I was making it, I decided, okay, what could I do differently that the other ones didn't do? Because this texture pack has had many different takes on it, some modern, some drastically huge changes. For example, when we had the original texture pack, we had the HD texture packs. These ones are really gorgeous, just amazing in detail. But in my opinion, it didn't really look like how the game was intended to look, in my opinion. I think it looked a little too clean and a little too perfect, if that makes sense. But this texture pack is pretty much what brought the next era of Total Mine in 1.92. But yes, this is the original HD. It has that same sort of vibe, the feeling, pretty much everything you're familiar with. And then after that, I hope this history lesson isn't too long, but now we're given the last one. This one. This is the original we made. As you can see, it's basically another take on the original texture pack. Many different interpretations of how it looked, and this is the general design that they went with. I think it looks pretty amazing. I'm not a big fan of it myself per se, but it does have a very nice, unique aesthetic and design to it. But what I wanted to do was something a bit more bolder and a little bit more different. I wanted to push what I could do with texture packs and take it to the next level. So here we are today with my Survival Redux. the sunset when going down now has a brightish, gorgeous red view, and it has a very unique colored skybox. This was a lot of fun making because I've always wanted a skybox that just looked gorgeous. As you can see, it has blue, a little bit of some purple in between, a little bit of some red when the sun goes down, and when the moon comes up, it has this very nice dark aesthetic. Another thing I want to bring to this texture pack was intense darkness. I think many players have played Total Miner and they talk about how scary it used to be. And listening to those people, I was like, what if it looked even more scarier? Work with me here as I'm about to show you something awesome. At nighttime, the darkness is pitch black. So much to the point you cannot see where you're going. But wait a minute. Wait, why is it like this? Like, what, I can't see anything. And what about the torches? You can hold torches in your hand to see through the darkness, and with my texture pack, the torches have been buffed, and now they light up so much more of the area. If you're gonna have intense darkness, you gotta have you gotta have it as good as the lighting. So yeah, this is a huge challenge for players that are playing survival mode because it brings back a much more higher level of difficulty and a lot of atmospheric changes. For example, here is a nice little setup. Here is the texture pack. Here are the new look of the spiders. Here's the spider egg. If we went back into classic Total Miner, you can see that this is how it looked. A nice throwback to a classic. We are in white now, and you can see here it's a massive tonal shift. You could always see much more easier at nighttime when you're in a cave, but now when you're playing this texture pack, things have changed, and now things are much more darker, atmospheric. Now things are much more refined and just overall have a much more intimidating presence. On the topic, I did some redesigning of the spiders. I took the spider model and the devs allowed me to update them. The spider now has the spider logo on its back, and now when it moves, it's actually animated. I'm gonna show that in another video at one point. But the spiders now have the spider egg logo. I decided to add that to their back portion, their bowman part, to make them much more connective tissue lore-wise. But back to the texture pack, you can see that this stone has been completely redesigned to not just look more gritty, but much more detailed. You can see different materials embedded into it. I'm gonna drink some milk right now. This is amazing. Oh, mm. Biscuits and milk. That's the good stuff. Um, but yes, this is the texture pack. This is okay. I'll clarify this. When it's nighttime, it will look like this. That's how dark the caves will get. But if it's nighttime, if it's daytime, it will look like this. Much more easy to manage, and as a slight orange hue, I decided to add right inside a cave, just to add a little bit of a rhythmic, different vibe and feeling. But yeah, this is the texture pack that I have been working on. This this texture pack was heavily inspired by the feedback that the fans have been wanting. The whole we're asking players, they want Total to come back to its roots. They want it to have its original style that could be interpreted in hundreds of different ways. But I think that's where the creativity can lie, because depending on how creative you are, you can do that in many different ways, especially if you have a lot of experience with the community. But if you can do just that and do your own thing on top of that, it's a job well done in my opinion. But we don't just stop there, of course. We are about to go, let's do some nostalgia quickly, because there's another feature that I've added. But we are gonna make a quick small house. This is gonna be a bit of a rough sort of design, so please bear with me. As you can see that this house is asymmetrical. It's not gonna be too crazy with the look, but I hope this is a quick design I can just put together for an example of something truly kick-ass I'm about to show. And what you guys are about to see, you will see something incredible. You just gotta walk with me. You gotta have that patience, please. This will be very quick. But as I'm talking about building this house, of course, Total Miner originally had these creatures. They were commonly by the community called lurkers, but oh, actually no, they were not called lurkers. They were called spiders, but they were giant black insects. And the crazy thing is, the community often called them spiders, but the interesting fact is they weren't actually, well, spiders. They're actually a scorpion-like enemy. They had 6 legs on both their sides, and when I called them a scorpion, that's very true. Their original model actually had a scorpion tail. It didn't have an abowment like a natural spider. So, why is it that people called them spiders? I believe so. It's because their bodies were very difficult to really see because they were pretty much near pitch black. And since they were near pitch black, it was very hard to really tell from if they were really, because when people saw the classic OG spiders, they were always just that, in they always were facing the player, so it gave the silhouette of what looked to be a spider, but it wasn't a spider. All that time, it was a completely different enemy. When Total Miner got 1.9, that local model got completely removed. And what we have now is the modern spider we have today. Do I love the new spider model of today? Of course, I love the modern spider. I will say, an interesting thing about the spider model was, as I said before, I decided to update the model. I'm not a developer myself, but I am someone that I pretty much just help the devs out whenever they need, and I give an assist. They let me add texture packs to the game and let me just assist with what the game needs, has, testing bugs. I'm an asset designer at this point, and just making all these things just make it much better for not just the player base, but just makes everyone much more happy. And what we're about to witness after this amazing build, I'll say, is another structure we're about to see. Actually, not a structure, no. We are now gonna switch back to the survival redux. And now you can see a major difference between how Tonomai used to look back then. As you can see, the house looks much more detailed and unique, but that's not why we are here, of course. I'm here to show you something that will blow your mind. Only my texture packs have this this amount of decals added, and there's a good reason for it. Have you ever been a person that ever wanted to add detail to your maps? Maybe a small little pickaxe on the floor, or maybe you're someone that just wants to trick your friends. Here is... that is strange. Let's go next door and fix that. If you're somebody that wants to trick your friends and add a treasure chest, but no, it's not really a treasure chest, it's just spray paint. This is the decal applicator. It's just spray paint. They just add, it just lets you add in pretty much spray paint on top of blocks. So as you can see, I had to take, I had to put in as much options. I tried to cram in as much as I humanly could into these decals. These were made by me, and I wanted to cram in as much detail as possible. What's that? You're making an adventure map, and your friend wants to have his map look a little different from yours, and he's using treasure chests. I present to you this. These are the common treasure chests, but your friend wants their treasure chest to look a little different. Here you go. You can add a red treasure chest. You love yellow? Here's another treasure chest you can use. You can also add other textures, like fire. If you're somebody that wants to hide their stuff and doesn't want to have anyone see your treasure chest, you can disguise it as another block almost completely. Now, when you open it up, it's just that. It looks like a complete, it's camouflaged. There is a lot of customization. You can add all kinds of different patterns that make these treasure chests something a little different. This is the customization that I really want to add. But it doesn't just stop there. This is gonna be a bit of a long segment. You can add in things like this. I was doing this on my Zelda remake, and I was like, what if the player had access to making more? I'll be honest, this is more for the creative community because I've been with the creative community for a long time in the Tolomite community, and I've seen them build a lot of their stuff, and I'm just always amazed at what they're doing. And I decided, what if I could just help them? What if I could give them something that just had them go, you know what? I love this, and I could add in all these amazing details. So if you want to add a mossy looking dungeon, you can add in details like this. If you're somebody that just wants to mess around, maybe you want to show off to your friends your arrow collection, here you go. It just makes the house much more cooler, a little bit more stylistic. Or maybe you just want to impress your mates with I don't know, a really cool pattern. You can put a pattern maybe here, maybe over here, or maybe you want to make it look like a brick. There's all kinds of brick customization tools and options that I've added to the decals that really do push beyond what you are capable of doing traditionally. If you're I have this area over here to demonstrate a couple things. This, these are not blocks. No, this is just a sand. But wait, hold on a second. You can use decals on anything? Correct. You can use them on almost, oh, sort of correct. You can use them on almost anything. But what you can use them on is enough to where someone like you or anybody can just pick this up and just create their own you can essentially just create your own structures at this point. You can do all kinds of stuff, just a lot of customization. You could use this is, oh, just to know as well, all of this stuff is built into the game. This is not modding. You can just do all this stuff without any kind of tools needed. This stuff is already built into the game, and you can just, yeah, you can use the creative tools to just making a nice little structure and tower, and it just has that customization that you can just mess around with. It's just, this game's incredible. Like, you have all these amazing options and just all of the stuff you can just mess around with, and it's an amazing thing. And another thing is yeah, there's all these patterns you can use on the decals, and to refresh your memory, this stuff, these are not blocks, these are all just painted on. So this is still just sand, but you can take that sand and transform it into something truly spectacular. You have a lot of customization. I added a ton of different patterns, so you could essentially, as a player, create your own blocks. I hope that was a good explanation on what these decals can be, what you can do with them. I look forward to seeing what all of you do with these amazing customization options. There's so much more I wanted to show you, but there's quite a number of things. One of my favorites is this one. You could trick players into using like, there's lava in the game. Essentially, lava looks like this in this texture pack. But if you ever was somebody that ever wanted to use the lava texture, maybe you wanna trick your friends into falling into lava. But no, it's not even lava. It's really just a block pretending to be one. So you can actually do a couple of things. You can make fake water, just like that. There's yeah, there's amazing options that you have with these, and yeah, I just hope you all like the content provided, and yeah, that's pretty much about it. We have the survival redux. Let me quickly check because there's so much to really talk about with this. The text pack is very, very faithful to the original design philosophy of the original. For example, the obsidian. Obsidian was black in the original, but I decided, what if I could take that texture and maybe just make it look a little bit better? And comparing it to the original, you can see it does have a pat. And this is the thing with these, I think that we can make a quick detour because people would love a comparison shot between the two. At the end of the video, there'll be a little bit more of that, but in this video, there'll be a couple more things. For example, the obsidian. You can see there's a pan that goes down and it has this sort of design thing going on with it. I'm not sure, but it has something that's established. The mostly cobblestone, I'm not a big fan of it because it has this this strange line going down. It did frustrate me a bit, but I was like, what is this? And then I looked at this and I was like, wow, I can sort of make out a pattern. And that is where we now switch back to the Redux texture pack, because now we can see the pattern a little bit better, and not just the pattern much better, it's been refined more. Things are much more easier to notice. The pattern that had the cobblestone, you can clearly see the pattern and it looks far much more noticeable. The obsidian is still the black color that it was known for, but the obsidian frame is much more purple. When you go in the obsidian frame, it actually looks... What? Uh, 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 why am I over here? Oh god, I've lost everything. Oh god, there it is. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. But as I was saying, yeah, this is not the same place I was just testing. What is this place? What is this? Where is my frame? I guess while we're over here, we can do a small little comparison of pretty much I just yeah, we can see that this is how the place, the towns look. As you can see, things are really nicely detailed with the designs. The wood as well. I wanted something that stuck out from Minecraft, and this is why I really do like the Total Miner style. You look at something like the TNT. I decided, what if the TNT was like an orangey looking color? Because when I often look at Minecraft and all the other ones, I'm like, I think Total Miner could have an identity and have it stick out a little bit more, just a little bit more. There's a lot of details too. I made the bugs very detailed looking in the inside as well, which make it really do feel like it was something that was really written in. When you look at the wood, you can actually see the interior. But as you can see here, there's a lot of fresh details that have been added, but yeah, that's pretty much about it with the Survival Redux texture pack. I look forward to seeing what you all do with this texture pack, and yeah, hope you all like. Hmm. Alright, that is pretty much about it with the Redux survival mode texture pack. But now, we are about to go into an even crazier texture pack. I need to load up the map and find my original position. I think I was over here. There we go, and now we are home. And now I can show the creative mode texture pack. Now this one is an interesting one because I should be able to show you all something a little bit more ambitious, something a bit more spicy, I will say. First off, we are now going to switch to it. This is this entire video is episodic. This is episode 1. It's about the survival and creative mode on Redux. We have discussed the survival mode, and now we're going to creative mode. They are the same thing, but one is designed more for the other. Why me? I'm gonna see if I can clarify this in my best words. Survival mode is for all modes. You can use it in any mode. It's you can use these texture packs anytime you want in any texture pack you see here. You can use them in Dig Deep, Survival, Creative, you know the rest. You can use them anywhere you want. Same with the ones I'm about to show you. But the Creative mode Redux, if you try playing Survival mode or Dig Deep with the Creative Redux, it's gonna end up confusing you because we about to show you I pushed everything to its limits. After spending time with the amazing creative community on their requests of wanting to have new blocks to the game, I decided to take it upon myself to adding new blocks to the game isn't something cannot really do that kind of thing. But in my own way, I decided, since these are my texture packs, to add in some replacements. These were the colors. Yes, these were all just the colors. I've replaced them with brand new blocks for you all to use, but at a catch. These do not act like new blocks, they have no function. Instead, they act like the colors. Colors don't have anything really to them, you can use them anywhere. And that is where I had to pretty much sacrifice the colors for this vision. As you can see here, there's more stones you can use, more bricks. The bricks are my favorite one because the design of these are really, really nice. And there's more wooden style stuff you can use. If you played survival mode and dig deep with this, you'd be very confused because you're going to use the color red, but the color red isn't here. That's why I said this 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 whole texture pack, the creative mode Redux, is tailored for people that just want to play creative mode. And this entire texture pack brings it to the next level. And now I didn't just stop at this. Nah, the colors were just it was a small little thing, but now we are going into actual new content. This is a glass. This is glass, essentially. The stained glass. Quick history on what stained glass is. They were just that, different colored glass. Nothing much to note, really. But I decided, what if I used it to add in more glass types for people to use for their maps? So now, oh damn it, I kind of spoiled. Okay, no worries. But we're gonna go one by one with these. There's the leaf textures. There's more leaves you can use. They're not animated like the traditional leaves, but if you're someone that wants to use autumn leaves, here you go. You want a much more mossy, darker, rigid. I don't know, darker. There's blue leaves, purple leaves, in case you wanted to make something a little bit more crazy. And these, now they're here. Now this is gonna be interesting. Here's some history. These ones, yeah, here we are. These three, these were just decals. Yes, these, these over here were just this. You could never place them as blocks. You could never really do much with them. But I decided, what if I took this and attached it to a block, and it works. It just works. There's webs you can now use. Actual fencing you can use now. Well, there's fencing in the game already, but you can use different style fencing. But this looks kind of weird, doesn't it? This looks very out of place. I decided, since there's two different stained glass types you can use in the game, there's this one, which is flat. And now you can take something like this, place it like this, and now you can actually have something that looks like a web on the wall still. And no worries, these are still in the decals, you can still use them. But yeah, these are the stained glass types. But what about ice though? What if you want to make actual see-through ice? Here you go. Here is see-through ice. It almost fit a little too well, doesn't it? Yeah, this is it right here. There's also different fences. Yeah, there's quite a number of things to list with this kind of thing. But I added all these different fences. So now you can actually customize your map a bit more now. Now you have access to different fences you can use. This is pretty much one of the most fun additions because now you can actually create your own fences. The question is, how does this look on a block like this? Let's see. I don't think it'll look as good. Actually, never mind. This is... Oh wow, this actually kind of slaps. Holy crap. Yeah, let me try the other ones out now. Oh god, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm getting distracted. Here you go. Quite amazing. Quite amazing. Oh, another one I didn't show. There's also there's another glass type you can use. So guess what? You can now use glass with a line. You can use a glass that looks more like a traditional house. And guess what? You still have access to just that, using the original glass in the game. Pretty amazing. Um, yeah, but I'm not even done yet. Everyone is familiar with the crops in Total Miner. In the creative mode Redux, this is one of the main reasons why I say if you're playing this creative mode Redux in survival mode and dig deep, it's going to cause confusion, and it's not a texture pack I recommend ever playing on survival mode. So yeah, creative mode Redux doesn't really fit survival mode and dig deep unless you know what you're doing. So now we're gonna switch to the creative mode Redux on why it's a bad idea to play this in survival mode and dig deep. Here you go. Again, it is tailored for creative mode players. So when you're playing the Redux, oops, let me okay, I'm gonna have to update this. I made a bit of a mistake here, but what's supposed to show up is there's mushrooms, there's hanging plants, there's leaves. There is a lot of all of these crops you're looking at. All of them were replaced with things that were not crops. So when you end up using this on your texture pack, I mean in survival mode, it's gonna look nothing like this. But truth be told though, since we are here talking about the crops, this is how they do look in the survival mode Redux. So the survival mode Redux has the crops redesigned to look a little bit more pretty looking. But yeah, the creative mode Redux doesn't have any of this. It replaces the crops with brand new plants you can use for your maps. And they are very helpful for players that just want to make maps that have more plant life, a lot more customization is what I'm trying to say. But I hope you like those changes. Oh, and we're not done yet. And there's another addition. If you're somebody that doesn't feel like taking pictures in Total Miner, I made all of these. These are preset photos. These preset photos are there for people who that don't really feel like taking any pictures. Here you go. Here's ones I made for those people, and I hope you like all of these additions and changes. Um, yeah, yeah, I think that's let me see. That seems to be pretty much it, honestly. There's not too much crazy stuff to really show after this, but you can see oh yeah, like yeah, this is one I really like. The bricks in this texture pack, all of them all the bricks have very vibrant looking designs. Like even this one looks really cool looking. Look at that. Yeah, this one looks pretty cool. Again, there's so much customization you can really do with this texture pack with just how much you can do, but when it comes down to really just the building aspect, building in Total Miner is it's trivial, it's near trivial. You can just build pretty much anything you need in just mere moments, and yeah, it's just so much more fun just putting all this art and stuff together, and with the customization tools, you should be able to make almost anything you want, especially with the tools you have at your disposal. The creative mode and survival Redux texture packs definitely add um, a lot of customization based on a lot of stuff you can do, and it's really just really amazing what you can just basically just play with really, and it's just pretty cool looking. But yeah, this is the creative mode survival Redux. I think that's pretty much about it, really. This is only part one, of course. The other texture packs I've added to the game, there's numerous ones I've added, but yeah, I hope this clarifies what's in these brand new texture packs that's been added. I've added as much as I could. I would like to take this moment to thank Craig Martin for letting me take his classic beloved texture pack and just edit this into something truly amazing for the community that has been building up over the years. And truth be told, like the Redux texture packs, it wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. And it's amazing with his contributions he had to this amazing community, and I am very thankful that I get to do this kind of thing. Um, I would like to say there's been some topics here and there about should the original texture packs stay in the game, if there's texture packs that improve on in many ways than the original, should they be removed? I don't think at all that you should ever remove the classic texture packs because they are part of Total Miner's history. Getting rid of those also ruined the game's milestone, showing how far the game has come, and it's always good to have those legacy texture packs. In my personal view, there is no such thing as a useless texture pack, no matter how old or outdated it looks. It always will have a special place in this community's heart, and I'm very thankful to have been a part of that. Just wanted to say that. Yeah. pretty much about it. See you all soon in the next episode.